All right, y'all, welcome back to Combat Arms channel. Okay, so this is episode 3 of the whole CQB series. Now, today's video, we're gonna be talking about doorways. So we've already talked about the introduction as far as gear and equipment, what to set you up for the CQB environment, and how to utilize that stuff a little bit better, just to be a little bit more advantageous in a CQB environment. But now we're gonna start moving a little bit more into the whole tactics aspect. So doorways is a big thing. Again, this is really fun to teach because it's crazy how a doorway can just blow someone's mind as far as, you know, which way it opens, how you expose yourself to a doorway, how to actually cover down on a door. So there's a lot of things to consider. We're gonna be talking about that in this video. So we've already talked about open doorways a little bit. So, you know, we were pieing off the open doorway, and that's basically just like any sort of danger area, whether you're talking about a wall or some sort of opening where you're just trying to see what's behind it. So open doorways are pretty easy. We'll do it real quick just to sort of double tap it, and then we'll start going into the closed doors. So when we're talking about doorways, it's either going to be an open door or a closed door. So either the doorway is going to be open all the way or open slightly, or it's going to be closed. Because if it's closed, it's going to take different considerations because you need to see if it's unlocked. If it is locked, you need to breach it. So open doors are very easy. Closed doors get a little bit trickier because you need to be able to identify the door, how it opens, and all that good stuff. So again, we have an open doorway right here. I mean, we can see I don't actually have a door here, and that's totally fine. This is just what it would look like. So again, if the door is just slightly open, then you would treat it the same, just because you can imagine if the door is, you know, creeped a little bit, if there's someone inside the room, they can see you through the open door. So if it is, you know, just slightly open, I would just recommend opening the door all the way if you can. Sometimes they'll have a hydraulic assist, which won't really allow it, and you'll have to really push the door open as you're sort of making entry. It's kind of annoying, especially if you only have one person. It gets very hard to do a one-man room entry when you're dealing with doors. So we'll talk about doorways and how to handle them to make it a little bit more, you know, survivable. Because again, that's what we're trying to do, is make CQB a little bit more survivable. So if we have an open doorway like this, if I'm coming from here, if I'm coming from this side, it doesn't matter. You're pretty much going to handle it the same. So what your goal is with this open doorway is to see what is on the other side. You want to identify what the room looks like. If there's a doorway here or a window here, you want to identify any danger areas, if there's any dead space. So let's say you have a couch, you can't see behind the couch, that's considered like dead space. It's still a danger area. So you want to be able to paint a picture before you're going inside the room and exposing yourself to everything. And again, we're going to be pieing it off just so we can take it in increments, just to help us out, give us a little bit more cover. So let's say I'm moving from here. I see an open door. If I'm with other people, I'm gonna let them know there's an open door. And of course, your weapon is going to be up whenever you're exposing yourself to that open door. So we can see here, I have most of this cleared out already because I can see this sliver right here. So now I'm going to start taking in increments. So what we don't have cleared right now is this side of the room and this corner. So I'm going to be taking it in pieces. So I can see there, not a whole lot going on. I see a couch, I see a TV, I see a chair. Moving out a little bit more, I start to see my light. Okay, I see another doorway. I'm still pushing out. Again, you want to give yourself some standoff so you're not inside here. So if someone's here, he can just come around and shoot you. If there's someone here, they can pull you into the room. So make sure you're giving yourself some standoff. So now I'm pieing off. I'm going. I can't see anymore. So everything is cleared out except for this corner and this corner. And since I've already been watching this and sort of, you know, if there was an enemy in this corner, they might have already exposed themselves by now. So I'm over here. I'm just gonna end up taking this corner just because it's a lot easier. I don't have to come all the way over here and take this. Unless you can see that there's like a piece of furniture, then you would want to go to the other doorway. But right now, I can't really see. There could be a really skinny guy hiding on the side of this, you know, this cupboard here or what have you. I can't really see what's in that corner. So I'm going to want to compress my weapon and shoot to that corner. So now I can see the corner. There is a little bit of space. So, you know, I could be a bad guy hiding all the way in here or something if I'm really skinny or what have you. Yeah, we always say, you know, there could be like an Oompa Loompa with an Uzi or something. So you could have someone really small getting into a really confined space just to make themselves a small target, and you wouldn't expect them to be there. So it's always nice to clear everything out So that's how we would take that. So that's pretty much how you would do an open door. It's the same if you're coming from this side. You're just going to be pieing it off in increments, and you want to just, you know, paint a picture before you actually make entry into the room. So now we're going to move to this door, and we're going to start talking about closed doors and how you'd actually take a closed door, because it is significantly different. Okay, so here we are with the closed door. So, okay, we can see the door is closed because, I mean, generally speaking, it doesn't look like you can see inside the room at all. Looks like the throw is actually engaging the catch of the door. So this is a closed door. So again, when you're moving up on it, you can start calling it out whenever you see it. Even if you're outside the room, you can start calling this stuff out. But I'm moving up on this. I see a closed door. I let everybody else know if I'm with other people that I see a closed door. So when you're taking this, there's things to consider. So of course you want to have your weapon up, because at any point someone can either start engaging through the door and you just want to be able to fire back, or they can actually open up the door. So you never know what's going to happen. It's always nice, well, it's always crucial really, to keep your weapon up pointed into that danger area. This isn't going to be an immediate danger area because there's no, you know, present threat. If something was to happen, it would either be someone engaging through the door, you know, just blindly, or you would see the door start opening up. So you have a little bit more reaction time, so to speak, than just immediately seeing, you know, what's inside the room and that being able to affect you right away. So I see this door, again, I want to pie across it just because I want to make sure that the door is actually closed. And at the same time, I want to see if there's anything crazy, whether it be like a booby trap. Maybe you see something else funky going on with the door, like, I don't know, whether it be like a weird lock, you see some weird funky wires or something crazy. Again, this is just the whole situational awareness aspect of it. So I see this door, I see it's closed. I just want to make sure I'm keeping my weapon towards the center of the door, because again, if someone was engaging, if I start firing back and I'm shooting towards the center of the door, I'm going to be hitting about, you know, the mid-size of the person's body. You don't want to be moving your weapon like this with your eyes, because, you know, if someone starts engaging when your weapon is all the way up here, you're not going to do anything when you're just shooting into the door frame. So I'm going to keep it here. I'm going to pie across, just looking at the door, making sure it's still closed. And at the same time, this allows me to identify how the door would actually open. So we can see here, this door is not flush with the wall and I can't see the hinges. So I know when this door opens, it's going to open to the inside of the room. Now what we call that is an inward opening door. So it opens inside the room that I'm going to go into. So again, I can't see the hinges. It's not flush with the wall. I know if I open it, it's going to go inside the room. So things to consider. Of course, if it was coming this way, then I would probably have to get out of the way to open the door. So this is good just because it allows you to give yourself enough room to actually, you know, do stuff with the door. But at the same time, if I'm working with someone else and they're on that side of the doorway, I can determine who is going to be first exposed to that room if this door opens. So right now, if this door opens, I would be first exposed because I know it opens inward. So if it opens right now, I would have to engage immediately or be ready to engage immediately. So this guy over here, what he can do to sort of help me out, so I'm not just doing all this crazy stuff and opening the door and trying to do all this crazy stuff myself. What he can do, since he's not going to be immediately exposed to the door, you know, if there's someone on this side and they open the door super quick and start shooting at him, then, you know, good on him. He should be a little bit quicker, but he's not in any real danger right now as opposed to me. So what he can do is help me out with the door. So he can sort of be over here to open the door for me so I can just go in or start, you know, painting a picture, so to speak. Again, it's just helping me out so I can have a little bit more time and not mess with the door too much, so I can actually hold as much security as I actually, you know, can afford to. So with that, in CQB, if you're working in teams, there's definitely roles and you just need to be flexible. You need to know where to put yourself and how to implement yourself. So, you know, you're moving through the house, you might be a doorman one time, you might be the one man into the room, all of a sudden you're the three men into the room. They have different jobs and we'll sort of go over that in a future episode, but you'll have different roles depending on what you're doing inside the house, where you are in relation to a danger area, especially this door right here. So again, if I went across, if I have a buddy who went across and I'm right here, I can hook him up and open the door for him. It's not always going to be kicking down doors and all that crazy stuff. If I really want to and if I really needed to, I could reach for him, I can kick the door open. But again, it's nice to just check if the door is unlocked so I can just push it open, not do anything too crazy, risk, you know, punching or kicking through the door or anything crazy like that. If the door opens, just open it. And this stuff will just help you in civilian life. You know, if you're walking up to a door, if I know the door isn't flush with the wall and I can't see the hinges, I know it's going to open on the inside. Generally speaking, unless it's one of those weird doors that opens both ways, it'll help you from looking like an idiot because, you know, sometimes you have the neat signs that say push and pull, but, you know, if you can identify that the door opens one way or another based off of the hinges and the orientation of it, then it, you know, helps you out. So this has helped me in civilian life as well. But again, just being able to look at this door and know which way it opens and all that good stuff allows me to be prepared for what comes next. So I know if this door opens, I'm going to be exposed immediately. So I can sort of be mentally prepared for that. So it's always preparing yourself mentally to sort of predict what comes next. Because even though it is a game of angles, it's also kind of like chess because you're just moving all these, you know, not necessarily pieces, but you're moving yourself and your equipment in a certain way to be able to respond to the next thing. So that's just a way to see it. It's kind of like chess, but it's also a game of angles. So we've seen an inward opening door coming from this side. I'm pieing across. It, you know, it goes the same way if I'm coming from this side. I'm pieing across, keeping my weapon in the center of the door. And now since I'm already on this side, if I have a buddy, I can just take over and be the doorman. So you want to be able to see a door really quickly, know which way it opens, so you know how to handle the next thing. So, okay, I'm already here. Hey, you good? And then we'll handle the door. I'll show you how to do the whole door procedures after this, but we're going to show how to actually handle an outward opening door. So a door that actually opens up towards you. Okay, so here we have an outward opening door. So again, outward opening door means it opens towards me. So now this allows me to know that if the door opens, it's gonna open towards me. So if I'm pieing off and I'm like this, if the door opens, then my muzzle is going to go this way. So if the door opens, I know I want to be further back. So if the door opens, it's not hitting my weapon. So again, you just wanna be clear of it. So I'm gonna be coming across, keeping my weapon in the center of the door, just looking for anything crazy. And again, you can see that it's outward opening because I can see the hinges now, and the door is generally going to be flush with the wall. So that makes it really easy to identify. So if you see those hinges, you know it's outward opening. Give yourself a little bit more standoff. Okay, so now if this door opens, am I going to be exposed on this side or that side if the door opens? So as opposed to an inward opening door on the doorknob side, the person nearest the doorknob was not first exposed. He was able to push the door open for me and stay out of harm's way. But now I'm on the doorknob side and I'm going to be first exposed. So if this door does open, I'm exposed to the room right away. So that's just something to consider. Again, especially if you're rocking, you know, like a team or what have you, if we're going in a stack. If I'm here, I'm not going to be opening the door because if I open the door, I'm just going to, you know, present myself before I can actually do anything crazy, unless I'm, you know, doing some crazy stuff like this. You don't want to be doing anything crazy like that. It might look cool in movies, but it's not going to look cool when you do this and you start shooting like this and you get shot in the face. So yeah, always put yourself in a better position if you can. So the dude over here is going to be the one opening the door for me because he's out of harm's way. He can chill all the way back here unless someone starts shooting from that corner or what have you, and this dude is just really unlucky. Again, he's gonna want to keep his weapon up regardless until he's actually manipulating that door, but he's not going to be in that much danger if the door opens up, because if the door opens up, there's probably going to be someone that's going to start shooting over here. So I have the time afforded to me to help this guy out and open the door for him. Okay, now to sort of finish this off, we're going to talk about the roles of the doorman, so to speak. So this dude, he's just worried about engaging any targets if the door opens. So that's pretty much his sole job. So for me, again, if the door opens, then just open it. You don't need to go crazy and donkey kick every door in. It looks cool, but again, you've seen people, they try and kick a door and all of a sudden their foot goes through the door because it's like super cheap, or it's, you know, it's not a door at all. It's just like a piece of wood and it just breaks. So if you can just open it, then just open it. It makes it a lot easier. It's not going to be as cool, but it makes it a lot more fluid. So I'm here, I'm the doorman. So what I want to do immediately, so it is closed, I can see that. I want to check if the door is locked. So I'm going to grab the doorknob. Now when I'm grabbing the doorknob, I'm not going to want to grab it like this, because if I'm like this and I grab it and all of a sudden the door opens, I'm just going to get pushed out of the way. I'm useless. So when you're doing this, you want to make sure to get positive control of the door if it does start to open. And this goes the same for both sides. I'll show you how it is with the inward opening door. So I'm like this, I want to square my body up to the wall. So I want to be pretty much parallel to the wall. So if the dude on the other side does try and open the door, I can start pushing against it and, you know, have a little more control as to what happens next. You don't want to be pushed out of the way. You want to be able to control what's going on. So I have positive control. Here, I have a little bit more, you know, leverage for actually opening the door as opposed to doing all this crazy stuff. I don't have that much leverage because it's just awkward. So I have more control with keeping the door closed if I need to, and at the same time, I can open it easier. So that's what you want to do. You want to square your body up. Try not to go all the way in front of it and do all this stuff, because then you just have to get out of the way. So that's how you do it. So square your body up, grab the doorknob. Now, whenever you grab the doorknob, this is your sole job. You don't want to let go of it, because any sort of manipulation of the doorknob sort of gives you away a little bit. So I want to check if the door is unlocked. So I'm going to grab it and twist it. Now when I'm twisting it, you know, some doors, you know, they're really nice doors, so you'll twist it and then it'll just pop open for you. It's nice and easy. So make sure, since this is an outward opening door, when you're twisting it, if it is unlocked, you want to have a little bit of pressure against it. So if it does want to open, you can resist it, because if it does pop open a little bit, then the person on the inside of the room knows that there's someone messing with the door, and you don't want them to know that. They might be looking at a different window or a different door. You don't want to signal them to let them know where you're coming from. You know, visual or, you know, audio cues. So I'm going to check it. I'm going to twist it and push a little bit of pressure until this guy is ready to actually go in. Now there's different ways to signal. You can do it verbally, you can do other crazy stuff. But for me, what we always practice with is I will nod, just super obnoxious so he can see it with his peripheral vision so he's not having to look at me. I will nod saying that I'm ready to open the door. And whenever he's ready to go in or engage and get ready to engage, he's going to give me the nod back. So I can tell it's unlocked. I'm going to nod, he's going to nod. I'm going to open the door. He can go in or just start engaging from right there if he needs to. So again, you just want to make it super slow. You want to control it as much as possible, and you want to be able to predict what is happening next when you're controlling it, if that makes any sense. And of course, if the door isn't actually unlocked, if it is locked and you need to get a breacher, either you can bypass it or you can call a breacher. So, okay, I try and twist it, it's locked. I'm just gonna shake my head or do something. You'll have some sort of way to signal everybody else. And then you just, you know, bypass it or breach it if you need to. And I'm not going to get into that because I don't have breaching stuff, and that's very niche. So yeah, generally speaking, that's how you're going to be handling doors. So I'll show you on the flip side of how you do it with an inward opening door, and then we'll close out this video. Okay, so here we have another inward opening door. This door handle is a little bit different, but everything pretty much remains the same. So again, if I'm on the doorknob side for an inward opening door, I'm going to be the doorman. So we have someone here, he's ready to, you know, go and do his thing. I'm going to be assisting him because he's going to be first exposed if this door actually opens. So it's pretty much the same except for one thing. Of course, when you're opening it, you're trying to see if it's unlocked, but now as opposed to pushing in, you know, if you push in, you're gonna open the door. So as opposed to doing that, you're going to twist it and pull it a little bit so it's not giving yourself away. Of course, you are going to be moving the doorknob, and that gives it away a little bit, but it's not as obvious as, you know, hearing a door open up and stuff like that. So you want to be able to twist it and pull it until he's ready. Again, you do the whole head nod thing. He's good. You push the door open. He goes in and you go and assist him. And I'll talk about roles when you're going inside the room in a future video, but that's pretty much that's pretty much doorways right there. So if you can understand how to handle doors, you'll be much better set for, again, just life in general. It's nice to know which way a door opens based off of, you know, if you can see the hinges or whatnot. So again, not flush with the wall, can't see the hinges, it's going to open inside the room. And you might have some really weird doors, again, that might open both ways, or they just might be, you know, set up weird. But generally speaking, that's going to be the case. So that's pretty much it for doorways. Again, it can be kind of tricky when you're actually doing it. So if you go up to a door really quick, you just did an inward opening door and now it's an outward opening door, it might mess with your mind a little bit. So you just need to be able to do it quickly, be able to identify it quickly, see who's going to be first exposed, give yourself enough room, and give yourself a better position to actually handle that next danger area or that room or whatever it is. So that's pretty much it. For the next video, we're gonna start moving into actual tactics as far as making entry into a room, what your positions are, what, you know, each man is going to be doing, the 1-man, 2-man, 3-man. Generally speaking, when you're doing a room entry, it's going to be 2 or 3 people. You can do 4 people depending on the size of the room or more, but that's generally what it's going to be, 2 to 4 people. And they'll each have different roles. So we'll talk about that in a future video, but that's pretty much it for this video. Again, let me know what you guys think in the comments section. I do appreciate you guys watching and supporting the channel. This is a lot of fun. I really love teaching CQB. Of course, everybody has different ways of doing CQB, so it's not going to look the same for everybody. Some people might hate the way I'm doing certain things or teaching certain things, and that, you know, it is what it is. It's the nature of the beast with CQB. You can, I don't know what the phrase is, you can, you know, 1,000 ways to skin a cat or whatever you want to say. There's a million ways to do CQB, a million ways to teach it. This is just what I learned and what I found works pretty well. So yeah, it's always good to know which way a door opens, especially in the CQB environment. So you're not having someone open a door and fling your weapon to the side or something funny like that. Well, it's not gonna be funny for you, I guess. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. I will see y'all in the next one.